Good morning. It's the 23rd of June, 6:45, and I'm leaving Canberra as I speak. I'm a little later than usual today. I don't know why. I just couldn't get up this morning. Today's trail is arguably a little easier to explain than yesterday. It's just one big climb up to James Peak. That's kind of the first thing. 13,300, I think. And then down on the other side and just following the ridge line all the way until the trail drops down back into the valley, and then it just kind of meanders through the valley and the lakes south of Grand Lake. So once I'm on the top of James Peak, that should be the worst of it in terms of climbing. Yep, that's where I'm coming from. It's 8 o'clock now, and I've transferred over into the next valley. I'm just about to reach the trailhead for James Peak. I think there's probably going to be road access there. That's where I'll have a breakfast break, eat my oats, which I kind of missed out on this morning, refill my water, and then I'll actually start the climb up James Peak. Alright, that's where we want to go. So the trailhead is at 10,100. Peak is at 13,300. So it's a little more than 3,000 feet of climbing. And I'm really glad that I get to do it in the morning. Not early or morning anymore, but it's 8:30 now. That's still early enough for it to not be completely hot already. Trees are getting smaller, probably slowly coming up to the tree line. The trail is of really good quality. Apparently this is a more popular route because you can see that both the trail has been maintained, there's signs, etc. And so far, no wind down here in the trees. But we'll see how that develops up there. Tree line is opening up, and here you can see the rest of the climb all the way up through those snowfields up to the top of James Peak, and then back down on the other side. Coming up to the summit, just a few serpentines left. Oh, finally made it to the top. James Peak, 13,300. And there's the trail. It follows that ridge line all the way. You can see it. You find the distance, Indian Peak Wilderness and Rocky Mountain National Park at the distance. So that's all that I have left today. Alright, off we roll. Down James Peak on the north side, trying to head down to that ridge. You can probably see the road. That's not the one we're taking. We're staying where the snow patches are up on the ridge, following it all the way into the distance. It's definitely lunchtime. Today we got beef sticks with cheese and naan slices. I just passed Roland's Pass and I'm now on my way to Devil Thumb Pass. That is where the trail drops down from this ridge line. And you can probably see it in both the landscape shots and on the background. It kind of looks like it's really hazy, but up here you can smell that it's smoke. So all the haze that is in the air is probably from a fire. I'll have to look at the map where that actually is. I haven't heard anything from the CDT, so I expect it doesn't interfere with the trail, but regardless, it's good to know. the keen observer will have noticed that I haven't really been below tree line since about 9 this morning, and that's really tricky about this stretch, and also yesterday and the day before that, because these trails are at high altitude for such an extended period of time, and there's not really the possibility of an alternative that would really make sense, in the way that it wouldn't be a huge detour either. So if you get caught in thunderstorm up here, it's really not pretty. So I'm just really happy that monsoon hasn't really kicked in, and it looks like I'm probably gonna get through without any serious weather issues. But a lot of people run into weather in this section, especially the crew going Sobo, who come through here later. So yeah, happy me. Devil's Thumb Pass. So finally made it. Heading down last of the ridge walks. So this trail, as you can see over there, is going to take me down to the valley all the way below 10,000 feet, where I haven't been in a while. And then it will just continue its way north towards the lake. So altitude is over for now. Thank you, Colorado. It's been gorgeous. Walking through these dead and decaying burn zones with little wind is really creepy. There's a whole cacophony of sounds, creaking. I don't know the English word, but like every tree makes a different noise, and it really makes you wonder or think twice where you pitch your tent, because these sounds do not really inspire confidence.
So my trail name is Salt Lick. I got it on this trail, actually. This is my first long trek, so part of the culture of it is where I got it. I turned 25 4 days ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I'm from Wyoming.
So, and how did you get your trail name?
How did I get my trail name? So in New Mexico, there were big blocks of salt next to a lot of the cow troughs that we were pulling our water from. And I had a friend say, hey, I'll give you $5 if you if you lick one of these salt blocks. And coming from Wyoming, we have a lot of ranching and cattle, and like, this was something that my high school friends and I would do for fun. But I didn't say that beforehand, so I gave the salt lick a big ol' lick, and
easy $5.
Easy $5, and yeah, by the end of the day, I was called Salt Lick. The Rocky Mountains have always had like such a big place in my heart. I remember growing up and camping in the mountains in Wyoming, and later on learning how to backpack, and I had the time and the opportunity and the resources to do a through hike, and I had a couple of friends talk to me about their experience on other trails, and decided that that's what I wanted to do. So I looked into the PCT and the AT, and eventually settled on the CDT. I think one of the major highlights for me was traveling through the Weminuche Wilderness in the San Juans in southern Colorado. I just remember the feel of waking up in the morning after I had done a really big snowy descent with my ice axe and had my spikes, and the challenge of it, and then I went to bed that night, and when I woke up and I got out of my tent and I saw this beautiful snowy valley, was just incredible. And I mean, every single day that I spent in the Weminuche Wilderness was equally as incredible and impressive, and really, really enjoyed that. I feel like I'm generally a happy-go-lucky kind of person. It takes a lot for me to get down, and I think it's just little things that wear on me over time. I remember walking over Monarch Pass going into, I think it was Salida, and the wind was just beating at me. And oh man, by the time I got to the bottom of Monarch Pass, I was just like pissed off and mad, and I threw down my trekking poles and I set down my bag and I went, I hate the wind. Which is crazy because coming from Wyoming, like I grew up in the wind all of the time. The school or the town that I went to university at is like known for being horrendously windy. So things like that, the wind, occasionally the mosquitoes, as you see me swatting around. Oh, every day I learn something new. I feel like I came into this with a decent amount of backpacking experience, and I work in outdoor education, so living and traveling outside is my bread and butter. But I've never done a thru hike before this, so learning the ways that a thru hike is different from what I had been doing. I mean, there's so many little things that I've had to change and adjust to make my time easier. And I'm still, like I said, every day there's at least something that I'm like, oh, I could change this up, or oh, maybe next time I'll do this. So,
is there anything you want to say to the viewers of this video?
First off, keep watching the videos. Second, I want to say hi to my mom and dad, who have been watching this whole journey. So